Yeah. Spin back a DJ. Up in this club. Yo, spin that. Yeah. Spin back a DJ. Up in this club. Yo, spin that.
All right, all right, all right. Hey, we are live. We are live right now. Facebook, Instagram. What it do? What it do? Happy Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend. Oh my God, I'm so. Big shout out to the ceremony cigar and coffee lounge. You know, I'm just actually recovering from the ninth celebration from a little network going on and all that good stuff. So we're gonna cut the music on so we can start the show. Yes, indeed, we're live right now. We live right now. I know. I'm trying to recover from yesterday right now. But big shout out to the ceremony cigar and coffee lounge. Yaggah all day, every day. Mr. Clean B on the microphone, and I want to say what's up, Yaggah. I hope y'all can hear me, right? Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yaggah. Thank you. Welcome back to the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Yes, indeed, Mr. Clean B. Oh my gosh, I'm just recovering. Yaggah all day. Dr. Shine in the building. KRDP 90.7 FM. You already know how we do. This is the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. We are live right now. Welcome back to the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Dr. Shine, how are you?
I'm doing well.
We have to make sure that we are working on the microphone over there. So we're going to make sure that we are pressing on it. But in the meantime, you know what I'm saying? Can we say 1 2 1 2 over there?
1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2. Oh, and we ain't getting no 1 2 1 2. Oh, snappy. Okay. Right on. And we're going to make sure that we work on the mic for y'all, for Dr. Sean, real quick. But we are going to have some topic today, most definitely. And big shout out to all the Virgos out there, man. If you're a Virgo, happy birthday. I know it's your season right now, most definitely. But we are going to make sure that we are working on the background. In the meantime, let's put some more music because this is the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Let's get it on, baby. Yaggah. All right.
It's her. Did you need to pull her mic up a little bit more? Because I could barely hear her.
Yeah, I think
You could hear me?
no.
I said I could barely hear you.
Oh, I couldn't hear me at all.
Not really here. And I believe it's plugged in.
You couldn't hear her?
No, I can't hear.
I couldn't hear either.
I can hear.
So that means you need to just turn her up.
I did that. That's what we did.
No, well, how far did you turn her up? When I walked in, she was here.
Yeah.
You may have to turn her up to 5.
So I have to turn up.
You might. But remember, I told you last week you might have to turn people up to 5.
Yeah.
Because we have to turn it down so that they wouldn't distort it.
So
as long as they're talking directly into that microphone, you can inch it up. But go by what you hear and make sure that you have enough gain from your master headphone. No, from the board. So remember I said that's your master control? That one right there needs to be between 12 and 2.
Yeah.
So as long as it's there, then just turn up your individual headphone. Right. Correct.
But you can hear the music, right?
I just couldn't hear me.
It's not from. I mean,
So try it again, and if not, you may have to put her on another mic, and then you need to write that down on the log so that I know we need to maybe take a look at that.
Okay.
So what I'll do is move the other mic over also.
So you can move that mic.
Yeah, and if I need to, I'll talk that way instead of talking this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you would do is, if in fact that's not working, write it on this log right here. The blue one.
get it on. Let's get it on. All right. We live. Okay, we live.
We are
We
live.
are live. Let me make sure that we're on right now. Mr. Clean B. Dr. Shaw, we do apologize for the technical difficulties, you know what I'm saying? Because we have to fix some stuff, you know what I'm saying, on the side. So, you know, most definitely, we do appreciate all the love and support. I want to make sure that everything is good right here. Good. Good. I want to make sure you guys can see what's going on in here, most definitely. So, we got some music for y'all in the boats. And, so, yes, indeed. I want to give a big shout out to Jacksonville, Florida. Most definitely. You know, oh, that sounds pretty nice. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Jacksonville, Florida. Most definitely. I know last Saturday when we did a show, when we did our live, show, there was a shooting that happened, and first of all, I would like to give a shout out to the family, the loved ones that lost their family members, most definitely. Instagram, you ain't got to see me like this. I think y'all need to see Dr. Shine too, you know what I'm saying? I know I look good, but you know what I'm saying? We got Dr. Shine in the building. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just Mr. Clinton B. You know what I'm saying? I told you already, I'm the sexiest man alive. So screw Michael B. Jordan. Y'all can go tell Michael B. Jordan that, you know what I'm saying? Look, there's a brother at the Yaggah Movement Radiocast at KRDP that keeps on saying that you ain't sexy, dude. He's the sexiest man. So I'm just saying. But definitely, man, last week we had a show. It was actually in the middle of a shooting. As we got to, big shout out to Lady T, Don't Disturb His Groove, every Thursdays at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. via KRDP, and also you can follow up on her Miss Cloud, most definitely, and I'm just trying to make sure that I get the name of the people that got lost, because I do not really want to. Oh, they're my people right here, because I do have them right here. Definitely want to give a shout out to Angela, Metro Call, Arnold, Joseph, AJ, Galeon. I do apologize for my pronunciations, but definitely, I'm not really going to say the perpetrator's name because I don't think it's, I don't think I'm feel comfortable talking about someone who committed a crime and pretty much, I guess wants to make a name in the news because, of course, every time you hear about some type of news like this, it's always traumatizing because, of course, the news media has to traumatize all these accolades to either get people upset, angry or traumatized, or I don't know what's the deal. But it is it's a concern. I mean, like I said before, we need education. We need books. We need books. I almost cuss right there, but I'm not going to sweat because the kids are watching. You know what I'm saying? Because Mr. Clean doesn't cuss. You know what I'm saying? I don't cuss. I'm all about love and spirits, and I'm all about unity. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about just coming together and compromising and just understanding. Just have a great understanding of what we are dealing with. It's very unfortunate that we got some people, especially some politicians who feels the need of saying or stating that it's what was the word that this man used? Knucklehead?
Oh, scumbag.
Scumbags?
You're talking about DeSantis, right?
Oh, Lord. Dr. Sean, you just Dr. Sean, I mean, I don't even want to say that governor's name because he's a candidate for the presidency of the 2024 U.S. election. So I don't really want to say his name like that because I mean y'all already know how that man's running. Y'all know how what the thing he said last week. He had is a little podium show about how he's for certain people and y'all already know how we do. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know how y'all know how I feel about it. But I say a lot of expression. I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just part of the nature. Because every time you say something, it's going to be a little bit of oh my gosh, this man did say this, he said that. What's going on? He's against the establishment, la 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 la, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm actually shocked that he actually showed up to to Jacksonville to the family. I'm actually really shocked because I never thought that he would actually show his face in there. While he was the first person that actually was making laws and oppressing to a group of people, when he was running for governor again, who, of course, for the people who voted for him knew that he was going to run for president. But that's another subject to jump on it because I am not the one stating that up because, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very unfortunate. Again, it's very, very unfortunate. And we are going to just, pay our respects and make sure that we just show some love. Yaggah, yaggah, yaggah. Yes, indeed. Yaggah, yaggah, yaggah. Yes. Mr. Clean B on the microphone. What can I say? Yaggah, yaggah all day. Yes. We back again. We back again to the live again at KRDP 90.7. What can I say when you listen to this? Yaggah, yaggah all day. I'm not a rapper. I want to say hello, yaggah. Okay, let me stop right now. Let me stop. Because Dr. Shane is like, don't quit your day job, man. Don't quit your day job. Now, big shout out to Mojave too. We play old vibe on vibe, most definitely. And we play some Emmanuel, the Togolese. Yes, indeed. Featuring Master Just. And also we played some Captain Black, Real Love. Yes, indeed. And we played some Giovanni Kiyenji, Shake O. And my brother Jamel Reese, Hustle and Get It. Yes, indeed. We just played that up for all of y'all out there live and direct via KRDP 90.7. And before we jump in on our news of the day, Dr. Shaw, would you please help me out with some bills out here via KRDP, yaggah, because we got to pay some bill. It is September, y'all. Happy September, y'all. Yaggah.
This announcement on KRDP is brought to you by the Public Information Committee of Alcoholics Anonymous, providing a 12-step program to those recovering from alcoholism. More information at 480-834-9033 or aamesa.az.org.
Yaggah. Now, I want to give a big shout out to the Ceremony Cigar, most definitely, for the first Friday, for blessing us with the first Friday, most definitely. And also, we got some things coming up. We got some events coming up. Just to let you know that September 15th, we have a big celebration coming up for Brother Sir, most definitely, which will be at the Suntan Valley City. So we are going to announce that up. For those out there who are, willing to support any families, because you already know, the Yaggah Movement Radiocast, KRDP 9.7, we are a local, family oriented, radio. So we cater to y'all, we cater to everybody out here. So we do appreciate everyone out there who show some love and support and just supporting the community most definitely. So by me saying that, I know we got some news, we got some crazy news. I know last week when we had big shout out to Vanilla Sky, who came through the Yaggah Movement Radiocast and blessed us with some nuance of her journey, besides music, which we were all educated by that. But before I start this segment, I would like to kind of pause for a minute and kind of give everybody, a 10-second, just a 10-second silence, if you don't mind. For those out there who listen to us, this goes out for the victim in Jacksonville, Florida, This goes out to the family of Angela Carl, Joral Gallion, and AJ Leguer, brothers and sisters who were brutally killed in Jacksonville, Florida last week. And I would like to ask everyone for a 10-second silence, just so we can pay our respects and honor those who are not with us. Thank you. Thank you very much for the respect and the silence that we paid to these brothers and sisters that we lost. So, I'm going to be very, very honest. I am not going to mention the person's name who actually did that, who traumatized the whole city. I know folks are hearing about what happened in Jacksonville, Florida. While we were having the show, there was, of course, a shooting, a massacre that always happens. And it seems that, every massacre shootings that happens in the United States, we have two sides. We have the side that's talking about, protecting the rights, protecting lives. And then we have the other side that talks about we need to have our Second or Third Amendment. We need to have our guns rights because our guns is our way of living. So we have two sides in America, which, before I express that, I would never tell my friends who owns guns to leave their guns at home because they have the rights for that. I would never tell someone who feels that, an AK-47 at their home is the protection because that is not my right to tell somebody to discard their weapon away because Lord knows what may happen because everyone has to be protected by any means necessary. But again, this is a gun issue, but not only that, it's more of a systematic political issue. You already know I've been talking about guns, gun violence, massacre shootings for most of my shows. I've expressed how I feel about, all those massacres from, folks out there who will be ignorant using propaganda to go and hurt other people. I've expressed how, as for me, gun is not something that, should be carrying on the streets or anywhere. But then again, we have, our, constitution that allows, some citizens to carry, their weapons in the name of freedom, in the name of protection. The one thing I never understood is the fact that even though there's freedom, there has to be some type of checks and balances. There has to be some type of, investigation. Like I told you before, not everybody is allowed to have a gun. I don't believe that everyone, is supposed to have a gun because not everyone is stable to carry it. And I'm just saying this to the deepest, to the dearest. And I understand that, even to the finest of this young man, 21 years old, who went to a Dollar Tree and killed 3 people in the name of racism, in the name of ignorance, I should say, because I'm not going to be here and state that every white folks are racist, because this is just one, individual who's probably not educated. But then again, we are living in a systematic nation that seems to be oppressing other folks. While this man somehow had his hands on some artillery. Yes, he had a background check, which came out pretty good. We're not going to elaborate on the privilege of that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to talk about how he got the gun, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to talk about how the family probably knew everybody's motive, because that's not what this is about. We're not going to talk about all those things that the media are trying to, hide underneath, even though they know what's going on, because we already know that this young man, went to a college, trying to actually hurt some folks out there, but failed. So he went to adultery and, you know, assassinate other folks, and then of course just kill himself. But then again, you know, it comes to educational purposes when you don't teach people about, you know, the lessons of history, how massacres still happen in 2023, how people still use racism, ignorance to go and hurt other people, how nothing has changed yet. I mean, I'm a little bit ticked off because I saw that governor, you know, I mean, you all know who that is, that's running for our president again. You know what I'm saying? After he burned books, he banned books, started to oppress other people, gospel is propaganda to other folks out there so they can be traumatized and be scared and be ignorant and be uneducated about the world that we're living in today. Has to show himself in front of a lot of melanated brothers and sisters talking about some scumbags, because that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens with Deborah Guilford in Tucson. It happened in, in Buffalo. I mean, you know, it's always a scumbag that always got a gun. You know, it's always a scumbag. It's never, some type of, racism, name, or it's always a scumbag, because scumbag seems to be fitting that person, because everyone who has a gun, anybody who has a gun is not a scumbag except for one person who was supposed to be checked twice. Like I said, if you need to have a weapon, the authority or any system has to check you twice, not just to make sure that you're stable, but mentally, especially mentally. And that's why I precisely state that not everyone needs to have a gun in America. Now, to go hunting, that's great. Now, to carry a gun in a Walmart, like you are a Western guy or something like this, I don't know. But we had a murderous act that just traumatized the city. And it's getting sickening to just talking about stuff like this. And we just had a show in the middle of that. A big shout out to Lady T, Don't Disturb His Groove, for actually allowing us to make our investigation on that. And even me talking about this, I may get some backlash, because some folks might come and say, that was one crazy person. That was one person that just carried a gun. That was one person that just acted up on his own. That was just one individual that just did what he had to do. I mean, and some of the same people want to save lives, talking about we want to protect lives, but don't really care about other lives unless it's their own. I guess if they look like me, I guess it doesn't matter. Or if that's my sister down the street, it doesn't matter really, because hey, now that's just folks from the other side. So let's just give them money, let them be quiet, and then just go back to our politicking so we can be able to keep on oppressing them. Like the propaganda I'm hearing about the former president of the United States mugshot, that every black person is loving his mugshot because that's what we were supposed to do as African Americans. I mean, and then this governor who his own state was traumatized, he's going to come in front of people that he traumatized and tell them, oh, everything's going to be okay. That scumbag is dead. We want to make sure that we're going to give you some funds. Not making no changes. Not making no type of effort, no constitutional law to make some type of change. But I'm sorry, but we're talking about Florida. We're talking about Florida. We're talking about red states. We're talking about states that will talking about split my guns, I did my guns, and my gun is my right. You know what I'm saying? God bless America, because without my guns, I would do this. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, if you have your guns and you get angry, is the first thing you're going to do is look at your gun to solve your problem? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're mad at somebody and you have a weapon next to you, the first thing you're going to do is look at your gun and just solve your problem with that person, because that's what most people do. When they have guns, they get mad at pick up their weapon, the AK-45, and bam, 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 and then go back to some systematic court and talk about, oh, I didn't realize I was that upset. But I'm feeling a little bit sad right now. Dr. Sharon, I know you heard the story, and I know I'm going buzzard, but yeah, I mean, what's your take on that Jacksonville shooting, Dr. Shankers?
Well, it follows the trend that we established with these mass shootings, that it's kind of interesting that typically someone knows or is informed before the action takes place, because the person wants it to be known. In this case, the shooter made it very evident that he was trying to start a race war. And so his intention was to initiate this conflict so that other people would join in. And so then you have civil unrest, and then you have a race war that ensues because of his initial act. That was his hope, that he would inspire others that are like him, because he is a part of forums, or was a part of forums, where individuals promote that kind of behavior. And he was hoping that with his act that he would be making a statement. And a lot of what we're looking for, especially when it comes, because I've heard rumors that there may be mental illness involved. I've read that he had isolated himself after losing his position. And I mean, when these things happen, there's always the effort to try to get an explanation for the person's behavior. In this instance, he wrote a whole manifesto of what he wanted to do, why he wanted to do it, and his hopes, like I said, to start a race war, were all included in that manifesto, in which, before he even committed the act, he told his father to look at his information. And when his father did, he called the sheriff's office at around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but the act had already taken place at 1 p.m. So he called about an hour after everything had already taken place. So when we think about what needs to change, when we think about what are we truly asking for, yes, this is one person, but at the same point, this one person is connected to several people, especially on these online forums, who share this ideology. Now, when is it enough? When do we realize that, even though, we have people talking about freedom of speech all over the nation right now.
All over. Freedom of speech, just to get somebody in trouble, just to get someone trauma. I don't know. That was not freedom of speech. That was pretty much a threat to a societal environment.
Right. So when do these conversations that they're having about hate, about hurt, about exterminating races, when does that become something that needs to be handled? Because if we look at it at a larger scale, and we look at after 9/11 and all of the things that took place as far as surveillance, as far as Homeland Security, we are aware that a lot of the information that we put in our phones, a lot of the information that we put online is all public information or easily accessible.
Yeah.
So if we know this, is there some type of filtering or some type of way that, these things can be avoided, since there is so much surveillance going on and there is so much, so if someone is saying that they're wanting to commit a violent act, where are the stops for that? I know if they're saying they want to commit an act against the country, that all kinds of things get alerted. But if they're saying that they want to commit an act against another citizen, can we get the same type of alarm? Can we get the same type of reaction? Can we get some kind of filtration so that, things can be avoided? That's a good question, but at this point, no change is taking place.
First of all, nobody's going to make any type of effort to make any gun reform. That's number one. I mean, I believe with all the technology that we have, Dr. Shine, I still believe that, you know, there are solutions out there. There are solutions out there to test people. I mean, we have all those agencies. If some people, like, I mean, pretty much they actually admit that this person was, has some type of trauma before, but somehow he had access to purchase an artillery, which to me is the fact that there is a loophole in between that system, because somehow it seems that the checks and balances is not going through, is not going through, certain people, because somehow, I mean, of course, now that he's dead, they're going to mention that, oh, he has some type of trauma, he lost his job, he did this, but all that could have been just, follow up. I mean, we have people, we have these rappers who, if they put something on TikTok or any lyrics and stuff like this, all of a sudden they get arrested, right? But somehow it is different than folks who, planned mass shooting on websites that it's monitored. But everything seems to be just, afterthought, aftermath. Oh, this is it happened. But everything was already programmed. Everything was already placed. It was already placed. Even told his father to check his hard drive. And I'm pretty sure the family probably were aware of his ignorance ways. Because I'm not going to say racist way, because that's what the news media is using, but his ignorance ways. Because there's no way, because that's what happened with all those mass shooters. Okay? Let's not forget, this is the history of the fact is that all those mass shooters had some type of, they left crumbs before they did the act. They left crumbs. And all those crumbs could have been just not just avoided, but could have been just prevented at that time. The film, I mean, come on, you live with somebody, you know that you don't realize that, oh, that person has mental illness after the act? It's insane. There's a loophole in what's going on. We need education back. So then things like this will not happen, because you have folks out there who feels that, oh, different race, or different region or taking over, because he lost his job. So I'm pretty sure he was thinking that, oh, maybe I lost my job to a different type of group of people, which is so untrue, which is what some of those politicians out there need to stop lying to some people out there. Like the lie, the propaganda needs to stop, because that's hurting others. That's hurting lives, like real lives out there. And then they're going to come in front of TV just to make themselves look good. And you got other people who don't even care about what's going on, because all they care about is just what that just happened. That word scumbag. Like that word is just like, really, man? Like, really? Besides scumbag, you cannot make any type of law. You cannot go back to your state and then pretty much put a pause on your candidacy and then focus on your home. Focus in your states. Like, honestly, it's just not.
Well, currently, mental illness only affects someone being able to get a weapon or possess or purchase a firearm. It only prevents them if they have two situations that occur. So either if they have been involuntarily committed to a mental hospital, or if a court or government body has declared them mentally incompetent. So other than that, any mental illness will not stop you from getting a permit. Now, I get people trying to explain actions after it takes place, but to try to explain and say, well, this is the reason why this event occurred, but then not make any regulations about what mental illness is, or, what issues are kind of a common thread amongst people who commit these acts. We need to take it a step further.
We need to make some law changes, y'all. Like, for those out there who are voting, 2024 is coming. You know what I'm saying? I know back home right now, we have the election coming up for the presidency election back home. But please, whatever y'all do, just education is necessary. We need to bring common sense when it comes to gun reform, when it comes to gun law. I'm not saying that, get rid of your guns. But again, not everyone should be having a gun. Not everyone should be able to obtain a gun, especially if they're not mentally stable, if they're not mentally incapable of being responsible of owning a weapon. I'm being honest. We're losing a lot of our, of our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? And we just need to make some type of changes. I'm just being honest, and I'm speaking from the heart. And I just hope that some of my constituents can hear me and make some changes out here and all around. So, we're gonna keep the show going. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna focus on all the stories out there because this is the Yaggah movement. Radiocast, Mr. Clean Beat, Dr. Shine. Let's get it on, baby. Yaggah, Yaggah, Yaggah.
Yaggah.
Yeah. All right, so I went out, so I'm good.
Hey, this is Sarah Waken live on Yaggah Movement. Check out my new single, My Shepherd, out available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Stay positive,
Which
stay
mic works?
strong, never give up.
So that
Be
one's not
yourself.
working?
Yeah, that one's not.
So does it sound like the cable isn't working, or is it the
I think
mic itself?
I think it's right here, the connection.
That's what was giving me issue last week.
Because that's what happened last week too. So,
All right.
So I think the connection. I'm thinking maybe this right here, the wiring.
Okay, just write it down. Just write down what it's like. Yes, mic one.
Yeah, guess my thing.
Make sure that you say
Thank you. Big shout out, Kaja Brown, CEO, KRDP. Yes, indeed. Hey, man, for those out there, I have to get in on that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of talking about guns, and you know what I'm saying? I'm just sick and tired of just talking about weapons every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just heartbreaking, like it's so heartbreaking. Like every day, gotta talk about weapon killing. And then, like there are some things I want to say, but I cannot really say it on the air because, you know what I'm saying, of the retribution of being attacked, you know what I'm saying, about my constituents. But the sentence is cannot be president of the United States. For those out there, I don't care if you are a true Republican in America. If you call yourself a Republican of the United States of America, do me a favor, don't vote for Ron DeSantis. Like, don't vote for that guy. I mean, with all due respect, this man is not. I don't think is reliable to look after a nation. With all due respect, I don't believe that he is capable of running a nation. I mean, I know that, there are other folks, and trust me, I'm not a Democrats because both parties are just the same thing to me, all right? But the one thing is the fact that, that man is not, he's not capable of running America because if it wasn't for his propaganda, that young man would have not gone to that Dollar Tree and killed all those innocent people. With all due respect. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real with y'all.
So you feel that in a way that he's making a climate that makes these type of crimes more prominent, more evident.
Yes.
Because of the way that he's handling African American history, African American stories.
Straight up. I'm just saying. Yaggah all day. Yeah, we are back. We are back again. We play some L'Antonio featuring Canto Ovo Limon. Before we jump on our next story of the day, brother, Dr. Sean, would you please help me out to pay some bill? Yaggah.
Programming on KRDP is supported by Gifts Anon, 12-step book and gift store since 1977. Located on southeast corner of Scottsdale and Shea, open Monday through Saturday. More information at 483-6006. Gift Anon, 2 words, on Facebook.
Gifts Anon, Gifts Anon. Yaggah. I told you already how we do, man. I do appreciate everybody for listening to us live and direct via KRDP, most definitely. I know that there was a story. I know the NFL season is starting. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my Washington Commanders. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo. I know all you Cowboy fans and Eagle, you know what I'm saying, fans. And I ain't going to say New York Giant fans. I know it's an NFC East love, but I still don't like y'all when the NFL season starts. But I already know. Big shout out to my DC Commandos. Now, I know this is a story that most of y'all probably heard. Now, according to ESPN, retired NFL star Michael Owen, who supposed adoption out of granting poverty by a wealthy white family, was immortalized in the 2009 movie The Blind Side, petitioned a Tennessee court Monday with allegation that a central element of the story was a lie conducted by the family to enrich itself at his expense. Now, the 14-page petition filed in Shelby County, Tennessee probate court alleged that Sean and Lee Ann Tuohi, excuse my language, who took Ower into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Owen turned 18 in 2004, the petition said the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservator. Excuse my language again, which gave them legal authority to make business deal in his name. What is going on? Is this another Britney Spears thing going on right now?
It's very similar, actually.
Is this another? I mean, those conservatorship. Like, what's up with that? Like, I don't get it.
Basically, they put themselves in a position to take charge over his finances.
Right.
And to make decisions in his name and to profit off of the stories that he was involved in. And so what he's doing is he's asking the court to end the conservatorship and to issue an injunction barring them from using his name and his likeness, because he's stating that he's not making the money off of what the stories that they've been telling, and that they've been telling everyone that he's been adopted, but really he wasn't. And so he's saying that they benefited from the lie, and because of that, that he wants to get things revoked and stop them from being able to continue to use his name.
You know what? I know when I read that story, Dr. Shah, I was just feeling, you know what I'm saying? I was just feeling Britney Spears scenario again. Oops, I did it again. They're breaking your heart with lots of money. I mean, I was just like, again, like, and you know, I'm sorry, but why do we have conservatorship anyway? I mean, because people think that folks are not capable. I mean, and this was supposed to be an adoption scenario, but then behind closed door, they went and signed some type of conservatorship because they knew that he was going to make it to the NFL. He was going to be rich. And
well, this was more so regarding the movie, because they wrote the book. And so what happened was the book got very popular, and so then came the movie.
Okay.
And so right. And so what they're saying is most of what they're investing, or most of the profits that they've gotten supposedly are from the actual book and from the not necessarily the movie, but the book. She became a motivational speaker after this. So they've built their whole careers and their following around the love that and how they've impacted this person. And, you know, it was a phenomenal story. Everybody was interested in the story, but unfortunately, the way the story was depicted, and now that he has gotten the education on what really took place, and that he has no familial ties to them. Basically, they just took him in. He was living with them. They treated him like family. And then when he turned 18, they had him sign a document. He thought that he was now a part of the family, and instead he signed over his rights, is what he's alleging in court. So a lot of, determination will be taking place as Tennessee looks at that case and sees what's going on. The family asserts that they still love him and that the initial love that they have for him is the same love that they have for him now, and that is disappointing that he feels that way. But I mean, anyone who they have would be quite upset. So I mean, that it's a shocking thing to find out that you've signed some rights the way that you weren't aware of.
I'd be mad too. I'd be mad after. I mean, and then plus that's why I don't believe when you turn 18 that everything has to be going to you. I mean, that's why I'm like, all those laws, like when you turn 18, it's like, okay, so now you have to give this right, that right, left and right. Like, that just tricked this brother, because they knew that he was going to make it to the NFL. They knew they was going to make some type of money. They knew, like, come on, like, and then he has to. And I know that there's, the excuse is the fact that he was so busy that he didn't have the time, because he was always, because I know he was playing with the Patriots, New England Patriots back then, so he was so busy, which I can see that, because I know most athletes after their career is done is what they start reflecting on, social life and regular life. Okay, what can I do after the sports, this and that, because all their careers, all their focus is just play sports. You know what I'm saying? So all that, I'm just thinking, okay, maybe that makes sense right there. So I don't know, but we are going to continue to talk about this. Hopefully we'll get some good news. I know it's NFL season coming up, but we got some coming up we're going to read when we come back. Most definitely, and some news that we're going to share with y'all. But this is the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Mr. Clean B, Dr. Shine. Most definitely, you already know how we do. Yaggah, Yaggah, Yaggah. Bless up, y'all. Yaggah.
Yaggah.
Yes. Woo. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. I see a comment right there. I see a comment. I see you, man. Thank you. Big up to Binks 1752. Thank you so much. For the blessing, man. Oh my man. Hold on. There's a difference between owning a gun for protection and owning a weapon that shoots 100 bullets in a minute. Oh my God. Oh, Big 1752. Bless up. Oh my God. Bless up. I gotta give a shout out. Yes. I actually, please stay tuned. If you listen to us right now, please stay tuned, because after the second hour, I gotta give you a shout out, man. Bless up, most definitely, man. You guys you're inspiring me, man. You're inspiring me. I thought we were gonna be out here just going crazy, but some of y'all feel my pain. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of the violence going on. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not COVID. That's just a weather change. There was more soon. All right, I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know right there, okay? That's what it is right now. All right? It is what it is. So yes, indeed.
Funding for KRDP comes from.
Thank you so much for saying that. There's a difference, man. There's a difference. That's what I keep saying. Look,
to what matters most.
Look, man. All I'm saying is this: when someone, has a testament, when someone, predicts what they're going to do, you know what I'm saying, ahead of the tragedy, and like Dr. Shine said, all these investigations that we can put into place. How come we don't have those type of things that we can be able to, check people up? You know what I'm saying? Check folks to make sure that, if they have some type of history, anyone with anger issues shouldn't have a gun. I'm just keeping it real with you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody with anger issues, I'm pretty sure y'all see me right now. You know what I'm saying? Yelling. You know what I'm saying? We have the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. You know what I'm saying? Should I get a gun yelling right now? Dog life. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Well, that's
you know what I'm saying?
The whole idea of the right to bear arms and the right to protect yourself is that's as American as America is. But the idea that that there's no filtering of all of the information, meaning there's so much information that's available for individuals, you know,
straight up.
And there's a profile that these individuals fit into. They've done several studies to the point where they can break down the likelihood of someone being a mass shooter based on this, and this. I truly believe that with all the algorithms and everything that we're coming out with in today's age, that there could be some type of predictive software. Now, if someone will actually initiate that, you know, that's something else. But it's quite possible that these issues can be reduced with the use of the information that we have.
No, it is possible. The question is, when will the process be applicable to that? That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It's America, man.
She walks.
I mean, they got laws to
with childbearing hips and full lips and keep hair voluptuous derriere.
This goes out for all the sisters out there, all the
16 shades.
soul sisters. 16
ways to identify and familiarize herself with her own kind, and the blown mind should be the results of feasting your eyes on the way that she glides.
Yes, indeed.
See, inside lies her strength. So to identify her to her diminish the essence and beauty upon which she exists. See, in her heart, where the thought unfurls, and though she suffered as a child and small girl, in essence her blessing is being the mother of all worlds. And I've called girls, but not called girls, but only to involve girls, to evolve girls into being queens and lovers and loving mothers with the cream of substance to rise above others. See, she gives birth to solar systems. She is polarity, distinguishing polar positions. She is the most sacred, protected possession in the museum. So when you see her, you'll think of Sojourner Truth, or Makari Hatshepsut, or Angela Davis, who stood for something, or Harriet Tubman, who freed slaves and helped them, or Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, the ISIS Papers, the life of a nation saturated in calamity. So why not enthrone those who are the backbone of humanity? Why? Because insanity has liquored our plight, to the point that we glorify death so much we don't respect the givers of life who deliver us light. So instead we'll pledge to do oppose to us right, but I'll uphold the fight and give recognition to she who picks up the slack in black men and preserve him even when he don't deserve it. So I am of service because I am concerned with the lack of appreciation given to the mothers of our nation. So without further ado, respect, admiration, veneration, and love is overdue. It should be intended, extended, and given to none other than.
All right.
Welcome to the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Please enter password to activate the Yaggah Movement Radiocast.
Oh. Hey, now right now, Mr. Clean B, fucking I say Yaggah all day, every day, and you know what's up?
Yes, sir. Appreciate that very much. We got the radio station for I and I. Family do one love.
Hey, what? It's a Yaggah Movement Radiocast. I'm so hot. I'm so hot.
Yeah, man. This is Bongo Man Desire Fire. New Desire Fire 100. You call me Desire Fire 100 because it's 100%. 100. Respect to Mr. Clean B and Radio Phoenix. I got respect for this man. He's a businessman, and give him the love he deserves. I want all my followers, all my friends to link to Radio Phoenix 100%. One love. And all the artists of Phoenix, love to T-Rex, love to all the artists in Phoenix, all the Phoenix artists, Togo Boy on the side, on all of them artists, whoever is struggling to make that music happen. One love. All right, the sun is hot right now, I'm sweating.
The sun is hot right now. All right, so like I was saying earlier, you know what I'm saying? We have to pay attention to our politics, man. I keep on telling people out there, folks laugh at me. People think that when I'm talking about politics, it's you focus on politics. I keep on reminding everyone, your social, whatever's going on in the legislature will affect your bottom line. Whatever laws that are being implemented will affect your bottom line. I'm not saying this just to get everybody riled up into politics. That's not what this is about. All I'm saying is, like right now, like I said, when I expressed the Ron DeSantis thing, when I actually expressed that this man should not even be the president of the United States at all. And I actually state that up because I know the reason why. It's not about emotions. It has nothing to do with emotions. It's all about the fact that this man does not really care about the real people, whether they're black, white. If you're poor, doesn't care, and that's what's happening right now. We have politicians who don't care, and when I say don't care, they don't care if they don't care about the color of your skin. Yeah, they do care about the color of your skin when it comes to that money, most definitely. But last time I checked, that brother that got released from the Georgia County after all those days when everybody else got out and stuff, that means we need to know our places in this country. But then again, this man should not be running whatsoever. I mean, I would even go with Chris Christie, even though I don't side with his politicking. Man, big up again, being the victim. Yes. Man, Bank 1752. I have to give you a shout out, man. Before we jump on this, I have to give you a shout, man. Bless up. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. I agree. I agree, most definitely. I agree. You got the end. I mean, you got folks out there who are pretty much behind all these, these companies who are supposed to vent, check, and balance any individual who possess a weapon. And like I said, like I got friends who have guns. I have friends who have guns. That's why my last few shows, if you guys go back to the Yaggah Movement Radiocast, gun reform and all that stuff, y'all can listen to my comments. I pretty much express how I would never, because I have friends who have weapons. I would never tell them, hey man, put your gun away and this and that, because that's not something that I can tell my friends in America, because this is America. They will always go with their third amendment, their third constitutional rights. They will always let me know about that. And there are facts to that. Because of course, if someone invades your property unannounced, and when I say unannounced, unwelcome, and violently, because that's what the Constitution was written at, right? That's what everyone bear guns, because when they were going against the British and stuff like that. If my history, we collectively get on, because when I was in school, I was told to learn European history, not the diaspora history. That's my check. Nobody knows about Congo, Africa, any other nations. But anyway,
we barely know about this one.
Yeah, exactly.
If we really
look at it.
If we really look at it, and we're looking at the perspective that things are taught,
it's
a very limited perspective.
I mean, right now, like I said, you know what I'm saying? I would not be out here just telling most of y'all, hey man, put your gun away, because I got friends with guns. I got friends who express whether they're liberal, they're conservative, they whatever life, that environment that they stick to. But last time I checked, they will always express those sentiments to me. So I have to understand that. But then again, my question to them is, okay, so you're good, you're all right, you are responsible to carry that. But then again, what about other people out there who pretty much don't learn the responsibility on carrying a weapon? Or what about someone who gets upset? Because I can give you guys, there's a rapper years ago, a rapper that Meek Mill signed, and he was playing dice with his uncle or his cousin or something like this, and they got mad, and his uncle carried a gun and shot him. Young man, like 18, 19 years old. I mean, like I said again, if you want to use a gun to go hunt, to kill a donkey, a chicken, you know what I'm saying? Some cow, in the, I don't know. But just to say that I need to have a gun. And then not only that, like Dr. Shine brought, to our attention, we need to vent people like perfect. We need to vent them, like to the point that we have to like the algorithm that we have been following up online, the Patriot Acts that the government has been following on us. All those attributes, we need to make sure that we when someone buys a gun, okay, so did you have any trauma? Did you have some type of issues? How do you feel about this? Okay, we're gonna put you into those tests.
If they did that, I'm sure gun sales would go down. I mean,
hey,
if we think about, a lot of the issues. Most people are suffering from something and have some kind of issue. So, I mean, if they really did follow something like that, I know for a fact a lot of the veterans wouldn't be able to have guns because of the issues that they would have, you know.
Exactly. But then again, that's what I'm saying. It's a loophole thing going on. But this specific case that happened in Jacksonville, I blame certain politicians for allowing propaganda, negative propaganda, to be displaying, not just in the news media, but just on the internet, on their little social media platforms. I mean, we do have politicians who literally just will come up and just talk all those nonsense, lie to its people. Even right now, yesterday, I was following up the January 6th riots. All those rioters who are now talking about, I'm so sorry. I wish that I wish that I was not listening to number 45 or to any politician who told me to go to the Capitol and strike down the Capitol and all that stuff. Now you see all those people who are coming out of the shell, feeling sympathy toward their own selves after their own acts. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, it takes people to learn after the actions that, oh yeah, I messed up. I'm so sorry. Education is necessary, y'all.
Where I hate this fucking
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. We can change it real quick.
This is the song I was talking about earlier.
Okay, we're gonna change it up. But we are live though. You know, kids are listening, Kaja. You know, we're live. You know, you say the F words. Yeah, you say the F word, brother. That's not good. I do apologize.
Your mic was not open.
No, but we live on the street and we live on KRDP too.
My apologies, everyone.
You need to come and apologize, Kaja. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kaja Brown.
No, I'm not.
No, Kaja,
I'm just saying.
He's
I apologize. But
are you sure? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I do apologize. I apologize. That is I apologize, okay? I do apologize. You know, this is not how we work. You know what I'm saying? This is just technical difficulty going on. But let me go back to what I was saying again. Again, those politicians who are just going and literally just lying. I mean, like you said, veterans, okay? People who feel like they need a gun to protect themselves. But then again, no veteran will go on the streets and harm other people. No veteran will go on the streets. Because the veterans, the military that serve this country, and big shout out to all the military men and women that serve this great nation, to their heart and to their souls. I know they will never go act up on anything like that, because I'm in the military. I have the teaching of not even focusing on any type of governance, but also protecting its nations. Because they're not fighting, in here. They're fighting overseas most of the time. And all the trauma that they're encountering overseas, it's usually, what I'm saying, they're coming over here and they express that. Even so, they're coming here. Some of our politicians don't want to help them. Y'all remember the bill that just got passed? Because they thought that, the military was woke. They got the wokeism in the military now. So they're even trying to get the military funds cut off. I'm sorry. Did I say that too loud and clear? But again, let's focus on that gun thing. Because we got Bank 1752. We actually, which I'm going to read that up, and I want to give you a shout out most definitely for actually expressing that up, because all I'm saying is we need a reform. We need reforms. We need some type of change. And again, like, we don't need guns. Will never go away. But again, how can we be able to, use those algorithms to make sure that people don't just kill folks in the name of racism, in the name of anger, in the name of just propaganda? Because you got folks right now who are talking about, if number 45 gets jailed up, there will be a civil war going. I mean, who, really? First thing people think about is grabbing my guns. Like, how about grabbing a book? A book is actually really nice. A book you can read, you explore the word, You know, it gives you all the punctuation of every grammar. Because, you know, when I have to learn English, I have to learn my I, you, he, she, we, you are, there are, and all that good stuff. You know, teach our kids to read. Teach our children to be able to, you know, have knowledge, so then they are not going to feel the need of, you know, listening to any type of rap music and grabbing a gun, thinking that, oh, I need a gun to show that I'm hard. Because I can say that, you know, having a weapon doesn't make you the hardest person on the planet. Because last time I checked, when you take someone's life, when you take someone's life, you know what happens? Especially when rest in peace, that brother from the Migos who got killed. When that other brother went to Mexico, even though Texas is a right to own a weapon, and even though that brother had a license to carry a weapon, they still arrested him. He still had a warrant on his case. So having a weapon doesn't really necessarily mean that you can escape anything. The lady that we spoke about 2 months ago that shot that sister to the door. Yeah. To the door. Yeah, trying to use self-defense mode. Yes. Self-defense mode. Again, like I said, like some people just have guns just for power. You know what I'm saying? I believe that, you know, certain places, if you go to certain regions, you know, in the world, not everybody has guns. But I can guarantee you the person with the gun is the most powerful person in that region. I can guarantee you that. So, you know, weapon is not the issue. It's gun. Yeah, gun is not the problem. You know, like people kill people, gun don't kill people. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment. But then again, you know, when is that going to stop? When are we going to realize that if someone is not stable to have a weapon in their hands, do they have a weapon to carry? I mean, if you don't understand, you know, the common sense of life, should they be able to, you know, have a weapon and be able to, you know, use it for self-defense or whatnot? But again, let's jump into the show. Second hour. Know our lives. Yaggah, yaggah. Let's get on, baby. Yaggah, yaggah, yaggah. Oh, welcome back to the second hour of the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Mr. Clean B, Dr. Shine. We're back again for the second hour, y'all. I know the first hour was very, very hot. Very, you know, very telling, common sense, social life. But we'll just play some Master Kennedy, Vanilla Sky, General Chifali, and MZ Monet, most definitely live and direct. Before we jump on my quick announcement, I would like to allow Dr. Shine to help us pay some bills. Dr. Shine, yaggah, yaggah. And before we pay some bills, I want to give a shout out live and direct to Banks 1752, live and direct via KRDP, man. Banks 1752. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the love. Thank you for joining us to the broadcasting, to the show. Most definitely, man. Bless up to you. Most definitely keep on supporting KRDP. Keep on supporting the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Keep on supporting us to our company. I know some of the stuff that we're going to talk about can be controversial, can be a little bit hard to talk about, but those are things that we have to educate ourselves to be able to elaborate. So bless up to you, man. Bless up to you, most definitely. Now, let's pay some more bills. Dr. Shine, yaggah, yaggah.
Business sponsorship on KRDP is provided by Local First Arizona, a statewide nonprofit designed to grow locally owned businesses. Ever think about where money goes when it's spent? Eating local, buying local, and banking local keeps money moving through our community, creating more jobs and improving prosperity for everyone. From shopping to banking, local spending empowers Arizona's economy. Find out more info at banklocalaz.com. #move your money.
And just a real quick announcement, man. Love with fear, man. We have a live celebration on September 15th, 2023. Remember Sir Unity Group, and it's going to start from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Suntan Heights Community Center, celebrating in unity in the memory of Sir the King's 18th birthday on Healing Circle. And for more information, you can go to Remember Sir. That's REMEMBERSERR at gmail.com. Hashtag Remember Sir Unity Group. And that's going to be on September 15th, 2023 at the Saint Heights Community Center. Most definitely, y'all. So now, Dr. Sean, we spoke about that brother, man. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to Noah Lyles. You know, for those out there who don't know who Noah Lyles is, he's the brother that won the track field, the world track and field, pretty much second fastest person besides my Jamaican brother. You know what I'm saying? You know, that won in 2009, 2008. That actually beat his own record. But Noah Lyles is actually on the news for something that actually I have been thinking about for a long time. You know, ever since I've been playing video game, you know, NBA, you know, live. You know what I'm saying? Ever since I've been playing a lot of my, Xbox, you know, back in the day, even though I'm still playing it on the low. I'm still playing on the low. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I always wonder about the one thing that he mentioned, which got the whole NBA family triggered, you know, got the whole NBA family just all scared up and all, was the fact that he mentioned something where they asked him a question in the press conference where they pretty much asked him a question that has nothing to do with, you know, the NBA, where he pretty much, you know, voiced his expression about, you know, world champion and how, you know, why would the NBA call themselves world champion if, you know, if the NBA is only played in 50 states, well, 51 states, because we have to count, Toronto, Canada too, you know what I'm saying? You know, but, you know, regions, you know, around the Americas, you know, why should the NBA call its champion world champions? You know, now we do understand that we got the World Cup, you know what I'm saying? We got the Olympics. We do understand that, yes, the USA basketball team, and I said the USA basketball team is the number one best in the world. The Kevin Durant, the LeBron James, the Steph Currys, you know what I'm saying? The Kawhi Leonard, you know what I'm saying? The George, Paul George, you know, all those players, man. Besides that, we got the Dream Team, which the Dream Team pretty much concreted that, that word champion basketball greats, which is the USA basketball team. The 2012 with Kobe, rest in peace. 2012 in Beijing, the Olympics. The word, the FIBA World Championship, and that's going on where we already know that the US is dominating the championship league, the championship tournaments. Now, what really got me a little bit off, was actually hilarious to actually witness a lot of athletes, especially NBA athletes, attacking his brother because of his feelings about how the NBA should not be called itself world champion, but should be called itself, NBA champions, which is the proper words, which are national champion. Because if you notice the NBA champion, it's National Basketball League, right? The NFL is National Football League, National Hockey League, right? Major League Baseball. There's no word in between those attributes, those are increments. There's no word thing. But the last time I checked, now, for those out there who actually compare the NBA to soccer, that's a little bit off the rail, because soccer has different leagues, but you have the World Cup. The World Cup. Le Coupe Mondiale. La Coupe Mondiale. I say World Cup. You have World FIBA, which is World Federation of Basketball. Now, for those out there who I asked and they were telling me that, oh, well, the NBA has, international players. Yeah, big shout out to Akim Olajuwon. Big shout out to Dikembe Mutombo. No. Big shout out to all my brothers who joined the NBA from Africa, from all over the world. But then again, it's the same thing if I go to England and I watch the English Premier League. When the English Premier League, my Chelsea team, when they have a bunch of international players in the team. For those out there who are watching the English Premier, the Italian League soccer, yes, they do have international players. They do have leagues worldwide that gather together to play together. You know, you have the UEFA League, you have the UA League, you got the World League, soccer-wise. Besides the World Cup, and we're talking about the world's greatest league, which if the NBA was, chopping up with, Japan, China, the French league, the Brazilian league, you know what I'm saying? If the NBA, the National Basketball League, was, coming together with all the leagues where its champions, which is, I believe, the Denver Nuggets today, can go compete against other leagues, then the NBA can just say, well, yeah, we are the world's greatest league.
After winning the competition.
Indeed. I know my English is a little bit, off the rails. Sometimes my pronunciation can be, a little bit torturous. But last time I checked, a league is a regional affair. A world champion league is something, different from a league. When I hear the National Basketball League, it's true. When even when the statement that he mentioned, I did not take offense of that. I always question myself, but then again, you have other people who will use that, we have international players, so then again, it doesn't matter because we should be the world's greatest, which, again, I just said, the USA basketball team, not the China basketball team, not the Nigeria basketball team, not the Ivory Coast basketball team, not the French basketball team, even though they have the number 1 draft pick, and the NBA, not them, that we are focused on the league. Just the league. So if Noah Lyles said something that was very, very outrageous for those out there who feels that they need to attack their brother, I think it is very saddening. I believe that all those criticism against him are just ignorance, and folks should just open their eyes and maybe looking at the NBA as a league and not a world league, because I would just say, well, if it's a world league, then how come you guys don't go to Lagos, don't go to Abidjan, don't go to Dakar, don't go to Paris, go to Moscow and start playing? Because I know it's going to be a long year or traveling long year-long league. But no, that's what we have the Olympics. That's what we have the World FIBA. So for those out there who are comparing the NBA to soccer, that is a non-comparison right there at all. I'm just saying. Dr. Sean, I don't know if I said something with my English, said the word to regional, league, to national.
No, the world is the world. And so I think that just has to do with, the American ego a little bit. We do have the tendency to believe that the world revolves around us. And a lot of the comments that were shared, and they weren't coming from a place of logic at all.
No.
People were offended.
Yes.
And they came from that offense, which is interesting that they would be offended at someone stating an obvious fact, because no one believed that the NBA was a world league. So to believe that the NBA has all the world champions is interesting.
Very, and that's what I'm just saying. I know folks were like, oh, well, it's different. It's not what it's, like I said again, if the NBA, if the NBA champions compete against other champions around the world, because the world is a big planet. I know some people think the planet, the Earth is flat. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, around, that flat surface that you guys are talking about, there is a whole lot of, I mean, you're talking about immigrants and stuff like this. Then there should be the world out. There should be life outside the United States. But I mean, I know the sarcasm of him saying, "Word of what? The United States, champion of what? The United States of, I mean, I know that was a little bit sarcastic. Yes, I understand that. That was a little bit, arrogant from his part. But then again, the question is, it's a national basketball league. It is representing different cities in the United States of its nationalism. This is where nationalism is, where I'm talking about right here. Now, Canada, yes, because you have a Toronto Raptors over there, which is Canada. But then again, it's the Americas. It's the Americas. I know that the NBA is thinking of expanding, the NBA, I believe, to Mexico. Okay. But then again, that is for the future to present itself like that. But then we are talking about this brother who pretty much said that any national league should not be recognized as a world league, or any national champion should not be recognized as a world champion. Because I'm not going to be here saying the Denver Nuggets, are champions versus to the Chinese league or to the French league. Even I know the French league they got the Marseille, Paris, all those cities with their own team in there. Would that be fair for me to say, they are better than those teams or those teams? I mean, that's where, like you mentioned, I mean, I'm not going to be saying that because I love America. You know what I'm saying? America is still the sexiest place to be in. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? God bless the USA. But my thing is, folks gotta pretty much, I mean, maybe it is time to have a open conversation about, what does it mean to be a champion when it comes to, globally or nationally.
And that's what he was saying. I mean, in an interview later on in the week, Noah made it clear that he wanted the conversation to be started.
So started.
Yeah, that he wanted people to be talking about it because it's something that should have been discussed a long time ago. And I mean, he walked away with 3 gold medals, which is awesome.
Awesome.
And, there's only 2 other individuals who have done that. So to get to that scale and to accomplish that, a lot of people feel that he has earned the right to be able to define himself as a world champion.
Yes.
And therefore can also designate and say, hey, NBA, you guys have not done what I've done. You haven't competed to the level that I've competed. I am a world champion. You all are national champions if you win nationally.
Yaggah. That's it.
Yeah. But our nation has a way of turning losers into winners and turning, stories of not so great accomplishments and making them sound great. I mean, we have a person who's gotten 91 different charges and makes it sound like it's a Medal of Honor. I mean, t-shirt sales are going through the roof. So when you have a nation that has this ideology that is not based on anything, literally, I mean, world champions for the NBA, that statement is not based on anything. It's just what they call it.
The league.
And that's their right, and that's what they do,
But I'm not going to say anything because I don't want the NBA to chop us up and talk about, hey, the Yaggah Movement Radiocast, we are going against you right there. So we love the NBA. I'm going to watch my NBA, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant. We love you, you know what I'm saying? We are going to take a break. We'll come back and play some love music, man, because it's that time around. This is the Yaggah Movement. Or the Radiocast, Yaggah, yes. Woo!
I was just glad to see him in good spirits when they did follow up and interview him again. He was laughing. It wasn't. He didn't take it personal. It wasn't personal. People took it personal, but it wasn't said personally.
It was funny as
Mills Media, and we're tuned into the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. You dig? Yaggah.
That is a big shout out to Harrison Clay. Yes, indeed, brother, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon, most definitely, man.
For sure.
This is our love tenderness right here. This is our love session right here. You know what I'm saying? No, we are not going to be too raw for all of y'all today, but we are going to be more of a socially compassionate, you know what I'm saying, caring, you know, segments. We're going to focus on forgiveness. Forgiveness. And actually, this is my, you know, my time to actually give a shout out to, if I can say this, I would like to give a happy early birthday to my ex-spouse. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday, Robin. Thank you for being such a good mom and such a good person to the kids. And happy birthday, Virgo gang. All right on, right on. You know what I'm saying? I got to share some love. And all you Virgos out there, happy birthday to all of y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I can say. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to get in trouble, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get in trouble because I'm sharing some love right now. Indeed. Forgiveness is the key of life. What can I say? I got Dr. Sean. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know Mr. Clean B, you know, me and forgiveness, you know what I'm saying? We're not homies like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I even have to tell y'all, it takes a while for me to forgive. But I have to learn how to forgive and not to, you know, take everything to the heart and understand, you know what I'm saying, overstand and not just, you know, be too personable about certain things. So, forgiveness is something I spoke about, more of a broad issue. I think I was a little bit personable, you know, I spoke about that. But, we are going to talk about the power of forgiveness. Is someone's calling? Over there. Okay, let me check real quick. Dr. Shine, what you say? You know, entertain these brothers and sisters out there. Dr. Shine, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to know, you know, anything about Dr. Shine, you know, same cigar, coffee lamp. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go pick up the phone. Yaggah. Yes, indeed. And we have been on like oh.
Be here on Saturday.
Well, forgiveness it's really important, and a lot of what we're going to talk about is just breaking down the idea of forgiveness and what it looks like to forgive, which we all have different pictures of it, you know. But there's a lot of misconceptions around forgiveness, and part of the misconception that's around forgiveness is that when you are forgiving someone, that you're giving them a pass, that you're not holding them accountable for what they've done or what they've said, or that they're somehow getting away with it because you forgave them. And that's one of the largest misconceptions that is had. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. And we're going to go into that a lot more once Mr. Clean B comes back. But I just kind of want to touch on that because in working out relationships and involving and dealing with interpersonal relationships, there's a lot of forgiveness that needs to take place. I mean, humans are humans. People make mistakes. But what are your boundaries? What are the things that you're willing to tolerate? What are the things that you're not willing to tolerate? How have you defined yourself and what you want your relationship to look like? And how can forgiveness play a role in that? It is a general subject, but it's one that's really personal because it's not just about forgiving others. A lot of times it can be about forgiving yourself because you're with yourself all the time. So spending 24 hours in a day with yourself, you're going to see everything that you do outside of when you're sleeping, right? And doing that, you might have some things that you don't even like that you've done. So forgiveness isn't always about the other person. Actually, most of the time, it's not about them at all. And then making sure that you have an active forgiveness of self. I think that is very, very important. And I don't want to get into the meat of it too much, but I do want to make sure that as we think about community, as we think about building, as we think about moving forward as a nation, a lot of the things that we've talked about today are national. They're very broad, right? When we're talking about the killing, when we're talking about the NBA, when we're talking about the blindside issue, all of these things, they're not necessarily local, close to home. They're those far off stories that, we're kind of interested in. But when we start getting closer to home and we start talking about what makes relationships and what makes things successful, how does that look without forgiveness? How can you move forward in anything without forgiveness? It's easy to talk about, okay, yes, it's important to forgive, but then we can also look at it and say, what does it mean when we don't forgive? What does it mean when we're not looking past each other's issues, or when we're not necessarily holding each other to forgiveness? That person that you did something and it was years ago, but it keeps coming up, and it's something that they just won't let it go. Now, when you think about that scenario, the person who is upset and won't let it go is the person who's really having the issue, right? Because forgiveness, when you don't have it, and when you're, come on in.
I'm just Dr. Shane's talking.
I was just, before you came in, I was talking about how important forgiveness is, not only for, that forgiveness is mainly for yourself, but more than that, that it's important to have a good relationship with yourself, because you have to forgive yourself as well as others.
Yes.
But, I was just saying, we all have had relationships where someone won't let something go. Have you had that? Where you did something and no matter how much you are trying to move beyond it, that person is not able to forgive, and it basically jeopardizes the whole relationship because they aren't able to let go of that one thing.
Yes. Oh man, I do have to go back to my life story because Mr. Clinton is
No.
Yes, I had. I've experienced that, but I've also experienced, not forgiving others.
Okay, so you've been on that side.
So I've been on that side too as well.
You've done both.
So I know that, and
I think we all have been there.
I think at the end of the day, like once you get to that position where, it's like, oh wow, like I didn't realize, like, my action created this reaction. Because a lot of times, and plus people will take things from the heart to where, a lot of time, like I can say, for me, like if I trust someone, like trust is everything. If I put my trust in someone, like a friend or a significant other, and I feel some type of betrayal, not even some type, if I feel betrayed in some way, or and then I'm like so angry or upset, I know prior to that I would be like, screw this, I don't want to, do this or this, I don't want to talk to that person, until I realized that, like for the past few years, folks that I haven't talked to have been passing away. Even I have a friend I actually came and just like we were chatting up, and like one thing she mentioned was like, yeah, like it's time for us to like reach out, say like forgive all the flaws, and people make stupid mistakes. We all make, actually we don't make mistakes. We experience challenges and we learn from it. I believe that's what I've learned for me to forgive others. But I've been in both boats on the side, so it's kind of hard to let go. But I was just told to let go and let God. But forgiveness is the key. So I'm just saying. Let's get on, baby. Let's get on right now. Let's get on. Oh. Yaggah. Yes, indeed. Mr. Clean Beat, Dr. Shine. Live and direct via KRDP 9.7 FM. Big shout out to anybody in Mesa, Tempe, Chandler Gilbert, Apache Junction for listening to the Yaggah Movement Radiocast and KRDP. Most definitely. We just played some sweet, sensational, going sexy R&B for you. A big shout out to Ariston Clay, Lavin and Jones, Jolly Music, Mirror, and Chrissy Ash, Losing It. And before we jump in our segment of the day, Dr. Shine, would you like to help us with some bills of the day? Yaggah.
One way listeners like you can support KRDP is by becoming one of our sustaining donors. Your financial gift supports the diverse programming you hear on KRDP. It also provides opportunities for youth, interns, and members of the Valley community to learn radio broadcasting and for coverage of local arts, culture, and politics. And don't forget, your financial contribution is tax deductible. For more information or to sign up to become a KRDP sustaining donor, call 602-254-6636 or visit our website, KRDP.com, and click on the donate button on the top menu. We thank you for your generous support of KRDP.
Yaggah. Thank you all of y'all for supporting KRDP. Most definitely. Yes, indeed. Yes, so, this is the time around. This is that season, I guess, for folks out there to realize, I know about the broadcasting, we were talking about our segment of the day, the power of forgiveness.
Right.
Why is it so important to forgive, especially from relationship to amicable situations? The importance of forgiveness is just something that, myself, I'm still learning to the day. Every day I'm learning how to forgive. I'm learning how to be a better person, a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And I know that prior to today, I had shows where I actually apologized to a mass of people. Apologize to my peers where I actually asked for forgiveness live, via the Yaggah Movement Radiocast, but also was expressing how, I was also expressing my sentiment about others who have betrayed me. And, even though I need forgiveness, but it's hard for me to forgive others out there. But it's a learning experience, especially, as we are living in our world today, as we are facing, certain challenges. And for those out there who feels that, any bad experience or any bad thing is, anything that was bad is negative. No, like I mentioned, anything negative is all a challenge or a life experience. I believe that whatever we go through, whether it was good, bad, or ugly, it's a life experience. And as long as we can learn from those, whether mistakes or goodness, we all have to learn from it. And and right now it seems that the world that we are living in, folks are, seems to be, so attempt to, pretty much be so conservative as far as forgiving. And I gotta say this, as far as forgiveness, I have to learn how to forgive. Even today, I have to forgive some of my peers for whatever wrong they have done. But also, I have to learn that if it's not for my actions, there won't be no reaction. The power of forgiveness is one thing, is that it gives you tranquility. Now, I've heard about this let go and let God, which is something very hard to follow, because let go and let God, it's like, okay, I'm going to let go and I'm still going to walk into a building, and if I see that person again, all that trauma is going to come to me, all that, all that bad experience will, be vivid in my eye again, in my mind again. But then again, this is life, and one thing I've learned is, forgiveness, also not also just repair, your old relationship, but you also strengthen, what you have. You also strengthen yourself. You better yourself. It pretty much gets you to a maturity, because I can tell that for my birthday, I was going through some changes, and those changes, although those changes could have affected me physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, but I refused to pretty much let those emotions to get to my maturity. And but I also learned to just not just accept what it is, but just accept for that moment, but also learn that moment and to move forward to something great. Forgiveness is not something easy to to get, but it can be done.
And a lot of people don't realize the connection between physical and emotional. And so when you are angry, there are physical things that happen in that anger. And some people don't realize that a lack of forgiveness, which sometimes can lead to anger,
Yes.
can cause insomnia, high blood pressure, headaches, fatigue, depression. It can do a lot. And so when you're releasing, and forgiveness, if you think of it as a release of the idea that, you know, that person or that thing that, you know, it should not have taken place.
Yes. Yes.
And when we can say, okay, I accept that it did take place, and then you deal with the fact that of whatever emotions whether you did not like a certain part of it, you didn't like the whole scenario, whatever it looks like, and you start to break down what it is. Forgiveness doesn't make you like something that you don't like. Forgiveness doesn't make you forget something that took place.
Yes.
Forgiveness doesn't mean all of a sudden that everything is erased.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does mean is that you can move on, that you have accepted that it took place, and you no longer are looking for that person or circumstance to be different than what it is.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Now, some people confuse forgiveness with reconciliation. Now, reconciliation is when you're making it to what you want it to be, right? When you're improving the situation and making it better. But just the mere act of forgiveness, it frees you.
Yes.
It frees you from the harm and the issues that come from dwelling on the negativity.
Yes. Yes. And I do agree. And not only that, it frees you from just, from assumption. Because a lot of time for those out there who know what I'm talking about, because I've been through that where, if you don't forgive, if you have been going through some type of negative experiments, some challenges where, the next level of your life that you are jumping into, that forgiveness, not forgiving that, your past can linger up to the present, which can affect, whatever relationship or whatever attribute that you have around, whether it's your job, anything, your health, especially your health. Like Dr. Sean mentioned, toxins, releasing your, negative toxins, increasing your increasing your blood pressure, which gets really high. Like I said, exercising, it helps with, reducing, all the stress. But just to forgive, I know that folks out there will probably say, oh, well, this person did this. My thing is, anybody makes, we all human beings, we all going to make mistakes. There will be one person in our lives, in our livelihood, in our journey, that's going to make some type of mistakes, some type of, negative attribute. As long as we stay, grounded, we know our purpose, we know our goals, and we don't let anything, and we learn from, what we faced, because, I can say that for me, learning to forgive and let go and let God, as folks say, it took years. It took years. It took years. It actually took me to see someone to actually tell me that I have a purpose in life. For me to actually, let go of certain things that I was holding on to, because, like Dr. Shine said, you don't have to hold on to certain trauma, certain grief that just, gets you sick every day. You don't have to hold on to none of that stuff out there that just makes you feel, uncomfortable, inside or out. Yeah. And like I say, if I go to church, you know what I'm saying, read your Bible, if you seek for a therapist, something that, you can be able to, not lash out, but express. So, your expression, about any, circumstances and issues is a pathway to, to let, to forgive, to let go.
And the forgiveness puts a line of demarcation saying, okay, I'm going to stop the harm and the hurt that came to me from that situation, because I'm going to forgive and let it go. Yeah. And that's basically taking your power back and deciding, I'm not going to dwell on the hurt and harm that came from me. And then a lot of what I'm reading, shout out to our Instagram feed. But I see a comment stating that you need to grow and you need to move beyond whatever that initial issue was and grow with knowledge and understanding and moving, towards better situations. So
yes, and actually that big shout out to Banks 1752 who says you can forgive a person or a situation you were in. It is how you grow. It will let you move ahead and not live in the past. Yaggah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Common sense is everything. Common sense is everything, y'all. What can I say, man? Bank 1752, man, we would like for you to come to the Yaggah Movement Radiocast one day. I gotta find out who you are, but definitely, man, bless up to you for actually showing some love via KRDP 9.7. Most definitely, yes, indeed. Wow. Dr. Shine, man, it was a show today, huh?
It was, yeah.
It was a freestyle show today.
Yeah, we got through it.
Man, we got through it, huh? And then with the fake monsoon coming down, I was like, what's that rain? You only rains for 2 minutes and get windy for like 2 hours? What? Oh, man, monsoon 2023. You lied to me. And before I let y'all go, a special big announcement again on September 15th. It's a Remember Sir Unity Group, which will start at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Santan Heights Community Center, and it's celebrating in unity on memory of Sir the King's 18th birthday on Healing Circle. For more information, you can go to remembersir@gmail.com, and it's a love over fear. And also, you can follow me up on my social media where I will be posting all those information as well. But I want to say thanks for everybody out there for joining me today. Thank God for the Grown and Sexy Friday yesterday as well, because we are still recovering from that. It was fun and grown and sexy indeed, most definitely, man. Ceremony Cigar and Coffee Lounge, big shout out to all of y'all out there. Everybody who has listened to us, blessed to all of y'all. Y'all stay blessed, man. Thank y'all so much for just supporting us and keep on supporting community radio every 24/7, man. Every day. You already know how we do, because next week we are going to talk about KRDP and you. And you already know how we do. It's the Yaggah Movement Radiocast. Can I get a Yaggah before we get out of here? Yaggah. Yeah. Yaggah. I'll see you next Saturday, y'all. Yaggah. Woo. Yes. All right. Hey. Hey. What is that?
So now what is supposed to happen?
There's two. I'm going to switch it up right here.
No, you're not going to do anything, remember? You're going to let it try to do it. And then if it doesn't, then what happens?
Then I go to my apps.
Right. So what should you be doing right now in case you need that?
I should be playing CDs.
Okay, yes. You can put in
which I didn't get the CD.
So go ahead and wrap it on that. Well,
but is that right now? Should I just go to the show?
Go get a CD.
Okay.
Just in case.
All right.
Just in case. Okay, beautiful. So it kicked into the break. Of course, it's going to act right now that I'm here.